Hello and welcome to Topsin. My name is William Lebowski, and today we have a wet Watkins Glen here. By the way, welcome to my first race in the North American Sim Racing Series. This is the Rookie League, but I just kind of want to talk, before we talk about how amazing this turn one is, look at this. We're in midfield. 25th to 30th out of 50. Look at everybody just going through smoothly. You love to see it. Didn't see any incidents in front or behind me in turn one, especially in the wet at Watkins Glen. I mean, Watkins Glen turn one in the daytime, and in the S's, almost, you can see almost some huge accidents, but there weren't, so we can't hold that against anyone. But yeah, even in normal conditions, turn one at Watkins Glen in the dry can be terrifying and treacherous and full of agony. However, I'm really happy that everybody made it through, and this is my first race with these guys. This is my first race in this league. I joined late. But going through turn one in the wet at Watkins Glen, the second that happened safely, no one bumped me from behind. I didn't bump anyone like that. I was just like, wow, this place is special. This place is different. I got to do everything I can to really keep racing with these guys because that is just such a rarity to find. The respect that people have for the race itself, the other racers themselves, even, not to just ruin everything on lap one, turn one. So love to see it. Really, really happy with that. And that was just a kind of, I think, a good omen, if we could say, for the rest of the race, and hopefully what will be the rest of the series. Like I said, we joined late, so I think only 3 races remaining in this series, but incredibly happy that I joined. We had qualified 25th out of 50, I believe, is the breakdown, or 48, 49, or something like that. And I was, happy. I was okay with how I did when qualifying, but I was even happier with how I performed during the race. The wet conditions are definitely not my thing. They're not my cup of tea. I'm not one of those drivers who is all of a sudden gonna really excel compared to everybody else in the rain. That's just not my role, not my position, not that kind of driver. But as we can see, we do have some big accidents ahead of us up in turn one. Luckily, we were able to stay out of them and use them to our advantage as much as possible. That is the unfortunate thing about racing. Sometimes someone else's bad luck is your good luck. Got car stopped on the S's. Could have been super dangerous there. But anyway, we got distracted. I'm looking for a few different things, was the reason that drew me to this series. The first and foremost is I am looking for more North American-based racing. As great as the sim racing community is, especially globally, it's great you can drop in, to a race and it be really anywhere in the world. But a lot of events are focused on the UK and European crowd, which is, of course, where the numbers are, so it makes a lot of sense. I really hated this mistake because I feel like, it didn't cost me any position. It did cost me, obviously, a little track position, but I felt like, not to dwell on it, trying to have the memory of the goldfish, but I feel like that, it took me away from other cars, and I spent a lot of time, what we're seeing right now, which is just me lapping alone, which can be bad. It's not the way the race ends, but, we did spend a large period of time in the middle solo, and I feel like if I didn't make that mistake that you just saw, I could have stayed with some other cars, maybe made some position changes, definitely probably had a better pace just keeping with the field. But anyway, we digress again, distracted again. So yeah, I am looking for some U.S. or North American-based racing because a lot of times you can get away with racing against the Euro crowd just fine. Everybody speaks English for the most part, which is great for me as the American because, we don't have that geographical proximity to other countries in order to necessitate learning other languages. So selfishly, it's great, everybody speaks English, even when you're racing with the European crowd. However, the times don't necessarily always add up to convenient hours for you. And even when it's endurance, especially when we're looking at endurance races, from 4, 6, 8, 12, 24 hours, you got to start, you can't start super late. And so even if the European crowd matches their start time to something, early afternoon, 1 p.m., 3 p.m., somewhere in there, you're still starting your race at maybe 9 a.m., which isn't terrible, but just personally speaking, I don't want to have to wake up early to make the start of a race when there are possibilities that I don't have to do that, if that makes sense. And I know every time I say that out loud, it feels really shitty and lazy. It's just that, like, we're talking about waking up on a free day, so to say, or a day at the very least you've taken off work, or you made preparations to be here. I just want it to be a little bit more convenient. I don't necessarily want to have to wake up at the real racing hour to do my stint and then be done at like 11 and have to wait around. It's just more convenient if you can get the times more favorable. And it's what I really liked about this league. It's on Thursday nights. It started for me at 8 p.m. And that was great timing for me, balancing work and then being able to incorporate the whole West Coast after work. It's just really nice to be able to have that focus. The other thing is I am, in general, trying to get into ACC more. And that is just because with ACC, I feel like since it specifically dives into one thing, the GT World Challenge, GT3 racing, you really can put blinders on and focus. Whenever I'm in R Factor 2, yes, I have something. If I'm looking forward to a race or if I have something on the horizon, I'm definitely practicing it. But it's very easy to get distracted in R Factor 2 to be like, oh, I'll jump into a prototype real quick. Oh, I'm going to jump into a hypercar, jump into Bahrain real quick. And just as a side note, I let these guys pass. They were 2, 3, and 4 really close together battling. I really wanted to make sure to not interrupt the race, but I think I might have just ruined mine. We'll jump into that in a second. But you can see I'm in 15th place. You can see 16th place right behind me. And that guy definitely got taken right up to my bumper because I pretty much stopped at the side of the road to let those guys through. Looking back on it, would I have done that again? With my knowledge now, I probably would have let them by a little bit differently. Probably would have been a little bit less concerned about holding those people up. However, I would never have wanted to ruin, the rest of the podium, 2, 3, and 4, just to protect my 15th place. So it's something to think about. But I am glad I did the gentlemanly thing. But here we go. We're on the final 2 minutes of an hour race. We're coming down to this battle between me and 16th place, and I think we saw him earlier at the beginning of the race and not be able to hang on. I think, oh wait, no, it's a different Ferrari. I noticed that this one is the official Sky livery. But anyway, this guy came back. We have a nice little battle here for 15th. Should I have protected my position a little bit more in general when it comes to this upcoming maneuver we're going to see into this corner? Should I have taken the inside line a little bit more? I felt a little bit like Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi 21 when he just kind of let Max have that line. But what was I really supposed to throw a big block? I mean, that was for the championship. This was for 15th place in a rookie series, and this is my first race. So I didn't necessarily feel like throwing everything out to the kitchen sink, everything but the kitchen sink rather. But at the same time, 16th feels a little bit different from 15th, and I really would have liked to have left with 15th and gained the full 10 positions instead of 9 positions. But anyway, hopefully that wasn't a spoiler for the rest of the race. But yeah, we're trying now to just chase this guy down. I did kind of throw everything I had, overdrove, even got to the point of the line where crossing it and overdriving a little bit. But that is what it is. Lessons learned going in for the next race. Fight a little bit harder and maybe not be so focused on just stopping to let those leaders pass. But anyway, the last thing I want to talk about, yes, this is a rookie league, and I think maybe if you have been stopping around the channel for a while now, you probably wouldn't have expected me to jump into rookies. However, I am trying to reset myself, so to say, when it comes to racing, and when it comes to competition, I guess, in general. I haven't necessarily been finishing well when it comes to, I guess, really most any races that I've done. Usually midfield to back of the pack kind of finishes. And I want to reset that. I want to reset really everything about the way that I go about doing competitive races in league racing and achieving results, essentially. I'm really stepping back and really trying to change my driving style, my philosophy when it comes to racing and being a competitor out on track. And I'm really just trying to bring that back to a point where I can have a better base and build upon that from where I am now. And if you haven't noticed, it's not like I'm smashing this field. So I feel like I fit in here, and I feel like that was a good move. I didn't jump into something over my head where I'm now finishing at the back of the pack. Finishing 15th, 16th out of a 50-car grid, 48 cars or whatever. I feel like that's a pretty solid place. It's a pretty solid fit. I would like to, over these next couple races, be fighting for positions higher. I would love to fight for top 10s. I would love to fight for wins and podiums. But right now, we're focusing on finishing races, we're focusing on racing clean, and we're focusing on trying to do better than we started. And the current finishing goal is to finish inside the top 15. That's kind of our benchmark now. So going forward, we're looking at top 15s, top 10s finishes as the goal. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you guys are thinking about rookie races, league races, ACC. Just generally excited to hear what you guys have to say about everything. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.